Welcome for our today's lesson. So we will be discussing the second property of the Laplace transform and the inverse Laplace transform, that is the frequency shift or the first shifting property. So kung makikita nyo dito no sa ating definition ng ating frequency shift, okay, let's say I have a function in the time domain f of t multiplied to e raised to at. Then if we are going to get the Laplace transform of that function, no, yung multiplied function natin, we will get the Laplace transform of the function f of s, but we will be shifting from s to s minus a. Napapalitan natin yung s sa loob ng f of s, no, yung mga s sa lahat ng loob ng ating function in the frequency domain to s minus a. Okay? And if you're going to get the inverse Laplace transform of f of s, okay, dapat yung f of s is also shifted from s to s minus a. Therefore, we will get the f of t multiplied to e raised to at. No, yung kabaligtaran lang ng ating Laplace transform mismo. Okay? So, let's proceed with our examples. No? Dito, sabi dito, find the Laplace transform of these functions. No? Unahin natin yung letter A. F of t is equal to sinh at or the hyperbolic sine at. No? So, going back to our complex analysis, no? Babalikan natin ang ating complex analysis. If let's say I have hyperbolic sine x, no? Ano yung definition ng hyperbolic sine x? 'Di ba this is equivalent to e raised to x minus e raised to negative x all over 2. Okay? So, yan yung definition ng ating hyperbolic sine x. Okay? So, papalitan natin, no? I-shift natin yung ating hyperbolic sine x from x to at. Since, kung mapapansin niyo no, hyperbolic sine at yung pinapahanap sa atin. So, therefore, we have hyperbolic sine at is equal to e raised to at minus e raised to negative at all over 2. Okay? And ito ngayon, yung gagamitan natin, no, yung hahanapan natin ng Laplace transform. Ayan. Okay? So, we have therefore f of s, obviously, no? F of s is equal to 1/2 using linearity property, no, lalabas yung mga constant. Then kunin natin yung individual Laplace transform ng e raised to at at saka yung e raised to negative at. So kung matatandaan natin, no, what is the Laplace transform of e raised to at? So that is 1 over s minus a, diba? Then minus 1 over s plus a. Bakit kaya siya naging s plus a? Kasi yung e raised to negative 80 natin, negative yung a. So since ang original Laplace transform is s minus a, so it will become s minus negative a. So it will result to s plus a. Okay, then simplify natin. So we have 1/2 multiplied to s plus a minus s plus a. Bakit kaya siya naging ganito? Originally, this is s minus the quantity of s minus a, but I just distributed the negative sign. Kaya siya naging negative s plus a. Okay? Para at least hindi kayo malito. Over s squared minus a squared, di ba? Sum and difference of two binomials, no? So, ayan. So, may makakancel tayo dito, obviously. So, that is yung s natin. Ayan. Diba? So, we have here 1/2 multiplied to 2a, kasi a plus a is 2a, over s squared minus a squared. So, makakancel na yun to dito. So, therefore, we have the Laplace transform of hyperbolic sine at is equal to a over s squared minus a squared. Ayan. So, ito yung ano natin, no, kung mapapansin ninyo. Yan yung nasa Laplace transform table natin. Dinaisect lang natin ng mas malalim yung in-explain ko dun sa unang lesson for the Laplace transform of these functions. Okay? Try naman natin si cos 80. No? So again, no, going back to our complex analysis, no, cos x is equal to what? E raised to x plus e raised to negative x. Kung si sign is minus, ito magpa-plus obviously. Over 2. No? So we are going to shift from x to 80 since 80 yung pinapahanap sa atin, no? So we have f of t is equal to cos 80, which is equivalent to e raised to 80 plus e raised to negative 80 all over 2. Okay? So ito yung kukunan natin ng Laplace transform. Ayan. Okay? So we have f of s is equivalent to 1/2, no? Ito yon yung over 2 multiplied to what is the Laplace transform of e80, no? E raised to 80, so that is 1 over s minus a. Then plus 1 over what? S plus a. Kasi s minus 80 na to. Okay? So, simplify lang ulit natin. We have 1/2 multiplied to s plus a plus s minus a. So, we're not going to change the sign kasi plus yung nasa gitna. Diba? Over s squared minus a squared. Ayan. Okay? So, simplify lang natin. No? Makakancel naman dito yung dalawang a. So, we have 1/2 multiplied to 2s over s squared, s squared minus a squared. So, makakancel yung dalawang 2. Diba? So, therefore, the Laplace transform of hyperbolic cosine 80 is equivalent to s over s squared minus a squared. Ayan. Yan. So, this is the Laplace transform. Okay? So, try naman natin yung last two natin, no? With the actual frequency shift, no? Na problem natin. So, we have letter C. You have the Laplace transform. Laplace transform. The function in the time domain equal to t cubed multiplied to e raised to negative 3t. Okay? So, kung mapapansin natin, ano yung f of t natin dito? Obviously, ito, no? Yung, tawag dito, yung t cube. No? Yan yung ating f of t based doon sa formula na, ng frequency shift natin. And we have a is equal to what? No? Since this is t raised, f of t multiplied to e raised to 80, no? So, therefore, a is equal to negative 3. Okay? Tapos, since na-determine na natin yung mga parameters na kailangan natin, pwede na natin kunin yung Laplace transform. Okay? So, what is the Laplace transform of t cube? Obviously, that is, diba? That is t factorial over s raised to 3 plus 1. Diba? N factorial over s raised to n plus 1 yun. Okay? However, we are going to shift this. Diba? Mag-shift tayo. Yung s, gagawin nating s plus 3. Bakit kaya siya magiging s plus 3? Kasi diba, remember, dun sa definition natin, shifting from s to s minus a. Since a is equal to negative 3, s minus negative 3 is s plus 3. Okay? So, therefore, we will have, i-evaluate na natin. So, we have 6, diba? The 3 factorial is equivalent to 6 over s plus 3 raised to 4. Okay, so this is the Laplace transform. Okay, this is the Laplace transform of f of t is equal to t cubed multiplied to e raised to negative 3t. Ayan. So this is the answer. Okay, so let's have the last example for our Laplace transform. No? So, we have f of t is equal to what? E raised to negative 2t cosine what? Cosine 3t. Now, dun sa ating example. Ayan. So, okay, let us determine now what is f of t in this case. So, obviously, this is e raised to 80. So, a is equal to negative 2. Diba? And this one is the f of t. Diba? So, pwede na natin kunin yung ating Laplace transform. No? So, therefore, the Laplace transform f of s is equal to what? Diba? What is the Laplace transform of cosine 3t? Diba? That is s over s squared plus a squared. Diba? So, we have s squared, s over s squared plus 3 squared. Kasi diba 3 is equal to a dito sa ating f of t. However, we are going to shift again, no? From s to s plus 2. Bakit siya naging s plus 2? Kasi again, negative yung a natin, diba? Negative 2. Ayan, so kaya siya naging s plus 2. So therefore, we have s plus 2 sa itaas. Again, lahat yan, no? Kailangan nating ipalitan lahat ng s. So we have s plus 2 squared plus 9. Okay, then expand natin for us to simplify, no? Para mapagsama natin to. So we have s plus 2 over s squared plus 4s plus 4 plus 9. So therefore, the Laplace transform, no? Ang ating final answer, the Laplace transform of the given time domain function is s plus 2 over s squared plus 4s plus 13. Ayan. Okay? So that's how we do the Laplace transform Laplace transform using frequency shift. No? Paano naman kay inverse Laplace? Okay? So, punta tayo dito sa ating example for the inverse Laplace. Ayan. So, find the inverse Laplace transform of the following functions. So, number 1 muna tayo, no? So, we have f of s be equal to s plus 3 multiplied to s times s plus 1 quantity squared s plus 2 quantity squared. Okay? So, what are we going to do with this function? Hindi pa natin siya pwede i-Laplace transform agad. I-inverse Laplace transform agad. Kasi we need to determine the partial fraction decomposition of this function. Kasi obviously, we need to simplify this function. No? So we will have, lagay ko lang dito, no? S plus 3 over S multiplied to S plus 1 quantity squared, S plus 2 quantity squared. So this is equivalent to A over S plus B over S plus 1, no? S plus 1 muna, kahit S plus 1 squared to, no? Then next we have C. Oops, sorry. We have C over S plus 1 quantity squared. Ayan, ito na yung naka-squared. Then we have plus D over S plus 2. Then plus E over S plus 2 quantity squared. Okay, so this is the partial fraction decomposition. Okay, so let us determine, no, the values of A, B, C, D, E. Ayan. So for A, pwede natin gawin, no, you can do the usual, no, yung i-equate natin, but para mas mabilis, meron akong i-introduce na isang method. Okay? So, kay A muna tayo. Since we're looking for the value of A, tingin tayo dito sa left-hand side, no? Dito lang muna tayo titingin. Ayan. Dito lang muna. I-multiply ko yung denominator nung A dito. So, parang times S. Ayan, something like that. Okay? Then, obviously, makakancel yung dalawang S. So, ano yung may iwan, yun yung ilalagay natin dito. So, S plus 3 over S plus 1 quantity squared, S plus 2 quantity squared. Actually, essentially, this is just the same dun sa regular natin, no? Hindi ko na lang minultiply yung denominator to make things short kasi medyo mahaba to pag minultiply pa. Okay? Tapos, paano natin i-evaluate? We are going to evaluate this at S is equal to 0. Bakit kaya S is equal to 0 yung ginamit natin? Remember, we need to find the roots or the zeros of the function. Paano natin malalaman yon? Dapat mag-0 yung denominator. Okay, and obviously, S stand alone, no? Wala tayong, pag 1 yung pinalit natin dyan, hindi siya magiging root, hindi siya magiging 0. So, gagawin natin 0 para maging, ano siya, para maging root. Okay? So, that's the idea behind. So, A is equal to 3 over 1 squared times 2 squared. So, this is equal to 3 over 4. Oops. 3 over 4. So, this is the value of A. No? Ayan. Next. Kay C muna tayo, unahin ko muna yung C, no? Kasi yung values ni B and D, actually, kung mapapansin niyo, they have the same denominator almost with C and E respectively. It's just that C and E has a exponent of 2 while B and D has exponent of 1. I am pertaining to the denominator. Okay? So, meron siyang squared, meron siyang squared, ito walang squared, ito walang squared. So, unahin ko muna yung C. Okay? So, we have here. Next, anong gagawin natin? Balik pala muna tayo dito before we evaluate. So, magmumultiply ako ng, teka, lagyan ko na ng parenthesis to, no? Magmumultiply ako ngayon ng s plus 1 squared, no? So, since I already multiplied s plus 1 squared, no? So, makaka-cancel. Ayan, diba? So, therefore, C is equal to S over 3, S plus 3 over S times S plus 2 squared. Over S times S plus 2 squared. Okay? So, from ano yung ipapalit natin na value dito? S is equal to negative 2. Bakit yan negative 2? Kailangan natin kasi mag-0 to. Eh sir, bakit hindi na lang 0 yung gamitin natin? Okay, kapag kasi 0 yung ginamit natin, we will arrive with the same answer at A, which is not true. No? Hindi kasi yun yung ano natin. And also, 'di ba? Sorry, not negative 2 but rather negative 1 pala. No, bakit kaya negative 1? Going back to the denominator of C, 'di ba? What is the value of S that will make this denominator 0? 'Di ba negative 1? Kaya negative 1 yung ipapalit natin. Okay? So we have here negative 1 plus 3, so that is 2 over negative 1 times negative 2 negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1 squared, no? So essentially C is equal to negative 2. Ayan. Okay? Then we have D is equal to what? Okay? D is equal to what? Sorry. We're not going to get D pa pala. E muna. No? E muna. Ayan. So, E is equal to, diba? Kung kanina, S plus 1 quantity squared yung inano natin, dito ang ipapalit natin is S plus 2 quantity squared. Okay, so ito yung makakancel ngayon. Yan dalawa. Okay, so ano yung naiwan? S plus 3 over S times S plus 1 squared. No, so we have here S plus 3 over S times S plus 1 quantity squared. Okay, so ano yung ipapalit natin? Since we ang na-cancel is S plus 2, negative 2 yung ilalagay natin. S is equal to negative 2. Okay, so we have here negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1 over negative 2 multiplied to negative 2 plus 1 squared is negative 1 squared. No? So this is essentially positive 1. So the answer is negative 1/2. Now this is the value of E. Okay, so next, for B and D, okay, ganito gagawin natin for B and D. Hindi kasi siya pwede yung direct. No, bakit? For example, if we multiply S plus 1, no, so isa lang yung makakancel, obviously. Ayan, yan lang. Hindi makakancel yung isa pang S plus 1. And if this happens, we cannot substitute any value and just any value, no, that will give us 'Di ba? Kasi dapat ano ba yung value ng 1 para ano netong s plus 1 para mag-0 to? 'Di ba negative 1? And kapag ginawa natin 'yon, magiging negative 1 plus 1 to. So we will have an undeterminate answer. So instead, we will use the denominator of c, which is s plus 1 quantity squared, to cancel s plus 1 squared, no? And to evaluate b, we are going to get the derivative. Okay? Since binaro natin yung c, no? So yung derivative na to is applicable siya for lower power functions, no? So we have s plus 3 over s times s plus 2 quantity squared dx d over ds. No, since we are integrating in terms of s. Okay? But we will still evaluate this, no? Using what value? Yung s is equal to negative 1 natin. Okay? So, paano ba natin ito i-evaluate? We can use the calculator, no? Pwede naman tayo gumamit ng calculator. Labas ko lang yung calculator ko saglit. Okay, so using our calculator, no, so we can evaluate the value of b, no, you following this function. So paano ba natin gagawin 'yon? So we have here, no, using our calculator, palabasin natin yung derivative, that is shift integral, no? Ayan. Tapos i-type lang natin 'to, no, yung equation, no, yung s plus 3 all over s times s squared, s plus 2 squared. So we have, instead of s, x yung gagamitin ko, no? X plus 3, ayan, over x multiplied to x plus 2 quantity squared. Okay? So, di ba dito, kung mapapansin niyo, tinatanong pa, what's the value of x? Ito yung ilalagay natin yung negative 1. Okay? So, we have 1. No? So, b is equal to 1, essentially. No? So, b is equal to 1. Ayan. Next, for letter D naman, 'di ba? We are looking for the value of A, B, C, D, and E. Tapos tayo dun sa 4D na lang. So, same scenario, no? Mangbabaro tayo kay E kasi yun yung kaparehas niya. So, instead of s plus 1 squared, no? Babalik tayo kay s plus 2 squared. So, cancel. 'Di ba? So, we have D is equal to s plus 3 all over s times s plus 1 squared. Diba? But we are going to get the derivative in terms of s. D over ds. No? And evaluated at s is equal to negative 2. No? Same as with e. Okay? So, gamitin ko lang to. Balik ako dito. So, edit ko na lang, no? Almost same lang naman sila ng format, no? X plus 1. So, this will become negative 2. Ayan. So, negative 7 over 4. So, D is equal to negative 7 over 4. Baba ko na yung calcu, ha? Ayan. So, D is equal to negative 7 over 4. So, nakuha na natin yung value ng B, nakuha na natin yung value ng D. Kompleto na tayo. We're just going to plug this all in the decomposed function. So, f of t is equal to, what's the value of a? Diba? A is equal to 3 over 4 multiplied to 1 over s. Diba? Then plus, or rather, tama, plus, the value of b is 1, diba? Ayan. B is 1. So, 1 over yung denominator ng b, which is s plus 1, di ba? Yan. Then we have plus, what's the value of c? Di ba that is negative 2 over s plus 1 squared. Okay? Then we have What's the value of t? That is negative 7 over 4. So minus 7 over 4. Multiplied to 1 over s plus 2. Diba? That's the denominator of d. And we have, lagay ko na lang dito sa baba. Usog ko na lang. Minus 7 over 4 times 1 over s plus 2. Then yung last natin for letter E, we have negative 1 half. Diba? Multiplied to 1 over s plus 1 quantity squared. Okay? Sobrahin ko na to. Yan. Okay, so confirm lang natin. E is equal to negative 1 half, negative 2, negative 7 over 4, 1, and 3/4. Ayan. So, pwede na natin kunin yung Laplace transform kasi na-decompose na natin. No? So, kunin na natin yung Laplace transform. Okay. So, we have here f of s. Sorry. This is f of s pala. Sorry. Mali. This is f of s. So, ang kukunin natin is the inverse Laplace. So, f of t is equal to 3 over 4. What is the Laplace transform of 1 over s? Diba? That is 1. So, hindi ko na siya isusulat. Next, plus, what is the Laplace transform of 1 over s plus 1? Diba? This is 1 over s minus a. And this is e raised to e raised to at. No? So, what's the value of a in here? So, a is equal to, ito ko nalagay sa ibabaw, no? A is equal to negative 1. So, therefore, plus e raised to negative t. E raised to negative t. Ayan. Next. Okay na tayo dito. Okay na tayo dito. Dito tayo. Okay. Gagamitan na natin to ng frequency shift. Okay. So, from s plus 1, no, gagawin natin siyang s. Diba? So, s shifted to s plus 1. No? So, magiging ano na lang siya, essentially negative 2 over s squared. And alam natin, no, kapag meron tayong s squared, that is t. No? 1 over s squared is t. So, we have minus 2t. Diba? Minus 2t. Tapos, yung shift natin, e raised to negative t. Kasi ang value na a dito is negative 1. Okay? So, s to s minus a kasi yung original. So, okay na tayo dito. Next. Minus 7 over 4. What is the Laplace transform of 1 over s plus 2? So, that is e raised to negative 2t. No? So, sorry, this is 2. Ayan. E raised to negative 2t. Kasi a is equal to negative 2 in this case. Nagiging dito. A is equal to negative 2. Ayan. So, we have last. No? 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So, dito na tayo kay 5th term. Okay? So, we have negative 1 half. So, again, ano, mag-shift tayo dito. No? S to S plus 2. So, therefore, the value of A in e raised to at is negative 2. So, we have 1 over s squared. So, that is simply t. No? E raised to negative 2t. Okay? So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay? So, i-simplify na lang natin. Factor out natin mga common. Pero I would prefer to factor out e raised to negative t. No? Tsaka yung e raised to negative 2t. So, we have f of t is equal to 3/4 plus e raised to negative t times 1 minus 2t. Ayan. Then minus e or pwede minus e raised to negative 2t. Then multiplied to 7 over 4 plus 1 half t. Ayan. So this is the Laplace transform or inverse Laplace transform of the function. Okay? So I hope you got the technique on how to do the inverse Laplace transform using frequency shift. Okay? So dun tayo sa ating last example. Okay? So number 2. f of s is equal to s plus 1 over s squared plus 6s plus 25. Okay? So, game. Okay. So, this is not evaluated using partial fractions kasi obviously we are not operating the denominator in terms of multiplication. Di ba? Kita nyo naman ng addition, yung operation na involved in the denominator. So, let's check if this is a perfect square trinomial. Kasi di ba parang, ano siya? Actually, di para. Quadratic equation yun nasa ilalim. So, let's check. No? So, we have s squared. Gamit lang ako ng other color to distinguish. 6s plus 25. Okay? So, what is the factor of 25 that if we are going to add them will give us 6? Obviously, the factors of 25 is 25 times 1, 5 times 5. Obviously, wala, no? Negative 5, hindi naman siya magli-lead into positive 6. So, wala. So, ibig sabihin hindi siya perfect square. So, we're going to use completing the square. Ayan. So, completing the square. So, we are going to add, okay, so, from the polynomial s squared plus 6s plus c plus 25 minus c. Okay? So, we need to add and subtract number, no? That will give this a perfect square trinomial. No? Perfect square trinomial. Okay? So, what is the formula of c? C is equal to b squared over 4ac. Ayan. So, what is obviously, you know what is sorry, that's not 4ac, that is 4a squared. Sorry. 4a squared. Okay, so what is b? Obviously, that is the numerical coefficient of s, and yung a is the numerical coefficient of s squared. Okay, so we have here 6 squared over 4 times 1 squared. So this is 36 over 4, or c is equal to what? Equal to 9, di ba? 36 divided by 4 is 9. So we will have s plus 1 over s squared plus 6s plus 9 plus 25 minus 9. Okay? So, will this make a perfect square? Yes. What are the factors of 9 that will give us 6 as a sum? Okay, so obviously 9 is 9 times 1 and 3 times 3 only. Okay, so 3 plus 3 is 6. So this is already a perfect square. No? And ito, i-simplify lang natin to. So 25 minus 9 is 16, which is also a perfect square. So it perfectly satisfies our condition. Rewrite lang natin, no? So we have here s plus 1 over what is the squared form, or the tawag dito, factored form of s squared plus 6s plus 9. So that is obviously s plus 3, no? S plus 3 squared plus 4 squared, or 16, no? So 4 squared is equal to 16. Okay? So, game. Okay, let's do the frequency shift. Bakit? This is not Laplaceable yet. I mean, hindi natin makukuha yung inverse Laplace, no? Ayan. So, kunin muna natin yung frequency shift nito. Diba? So, from s plus 3, ito yung i-evaluate natin, no, yung s plus 3. So, we have s going to s plus 3. However, yung nasa taas, kailangan din mag-shift niyan, no, yung s plus 1. Hindi pwede, kasi remember, we are changing s plus 3 into s, not s plus, not s going to s plus 3. if s is going to s plus 3, then we can just directly substitute it to s dun sa s plus 1. But that's not the case. We are shifting from s plus 3 into s. No? So, inverse nga to eh. Nasa inverse Laplace tayo. So, we need to find a value or a shifting value that will satisfy s plus 1. Paano ba natin gagawin yun? Compare natin yung s plus 3 yung s plus 1 kay s. Okay? So, kapag nag-shift tayo, 'di ba? Again, S to S plus 3, ilang steps? 1, 2, 3. Tama ba? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Ayan. So, ganun din yung number of steps na gagawin natin, no? So, ganun din yung gagawin natin for S plus 1. Or, we can use this, no? Yung original, no? This one. I-minus mo lang yung, kunin mo yung, ang tawag dito, kunin mo yung whole number, i-minus mo dun sa whole number na nasa numerator, then yun yung i-add mo. No? So, simply, 3 minus 1 is 2. So, ang shift niya, from S plus 1, magiging S plus 2. Okay? So, bakit? Tingnan ninyo. 0 to, di ba this is essentially S plus 0? So, pag pinag-add natin, 0 plus 3 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. No? So, parang ganun yung sinasabi ko kanina. Ayan. So, pwede na natin i-shift. Okay? So, we have here, no? S plus 2 over, over S squared plus 4 squared. Tapos, paghihiwalayin na lang natin yung numerator, no? Para maging totally, pwede na natin siyang i-inverse. So, we have here S over S squared plus 4 squared plus 2 over S squared plus 4 squared. And this is already, pwede na natin siyang i-evaluate using inverse Laplace transform. Okay? Ayan. So, we have here now f of t is equal to, what is the inverse Laplace transform of s over s squared plus a squared? Diba that is what? Cosine 80. Diba? Yung plus, kasi yung minus is cos. Yeah. Okay, so cosine, a is 4, no? So cosine 40 plus, what is the Laplace transform of, copy na natin to. What's the inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s squared plus 4 squared? So that is, ano naman yon? Ang tawag dito? Sine. Pero may kulang pa tayo. Bakit? Ano ba ang Laplace transform ni sine 80? Ni sine 80. Diba that is a over s squared plus a squared? And we need to have an a here. We need to have a 4 here. Paano natin gagawin yon? Pray ko muna to. Paano natin gagawin yon? Magmumultiply tayo ng 4 over 4. Okay, para itong 4 na to kasama yung denominator, this is what we are going to use for the inverse Laplace transform. Then yung maiiwan yun yung constant. So 2 over 4 is simply 1/2. Diba? So the Laplace transform of 4 over s squared plus 4 squared is simply sine 40. So 1/2 sine 40. Is this already our final answer? Not yet. Bakit? Remember, we shifted, no, using this. Ito. From s to s plus 3. Diba? Break ko to s plus 0 para hindi nakakalito. We shifted from s plus 3 rather to s. Diba? So we need to consider yung s minus a, or yung a is equal to negative 3 for e raised to 80. So we need to multiply this to e raised to negative 3t. Okay? And this is the final answer. Okay? Ayan. So this is the final answer. Ayan. So that's it, no. I hope you guys learned something, no. Sensya na kayo, medyo na lito konti dun sa last part. Ayan. So I'll see you next lesson. We will be discussing the second shifting property or the time shift, no, of the Laplace transform. Okay? Stay safe, ingat, and God bless.